All right, well, welcome to Cypress Sports Weekly. I'm Jeff Russell. With me, as always, is Mark Slevcove. Today, we'll chat again with Coach Crooks, and we'll have a special guest from the Orange County Register. Mr. Steve Fryer will be on with us. Football, amazing last week with the victory, 35-27 over Palos Verde. A great way to start off the playoffs. What else do we have coming up, Coach?
All right, yeah, a lot of fun to see the boys beat Palos Verdes. Nice comeback win. Played really well. Water polo team last week beat Western in the first round. Came back on Thursday, lost to Sage Hill in the second round, 10-8. Good season for the boys, making it to the playoffs, winning a game in the playoffs. Girls golf, Catherine Gerben keeps rolling. She moves on to play in the CIF Southern California Regional at Brookside on Thursday after shooting a 75 up in Carpinteria last week. If she advances out of this week's tournament, she will move on to the state finals in Pebble Beach next week. So best of luck to Catherine this week. And then cross country, our boys move on to the CIF prelims up at Mount Sac. We're in Division I. It's tough running up with the big boys there, but hopefully we'll have a good race and we'll put a lot of PRs together for our boys.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see them run, and then the Saturday 5 o'clock football game as well. So a lot going on again this week. Catherine's doing an amazing job, and hopefully she can make it up to the finals there in Pebble Beach. That'd be an unbelievable experience for her. Coach Crooks here again. Coach Tomas Ramirez named the Orange County Register Athlete of the Week after his 283 yards of rushing. It's the seventh most rushing yards in a game in Cypress history. He had 3 TDs over rushing. He had over 300 total yards and 4 TDs in the game. I mean, how important is he to our success?
Wow. I mean, I couldn't be happier for the kid. I mean, it's well-deserved. He's been doing great things for us on both sides of the ball, even on special teams. But, I mean, he's just a natural athlete. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now. Our offensive line is doing a stellar job just blocking, answering the calls every time when given. And it's just the success with him is that he's able to allow the run game to open up our pass game. So to get, Morrell some more looks, to get Trevor the ball as well and Cobb. So, and then have Elliott, make the right reads and stuff. So he's again, extremely happy for him to get that award and, well-deserved.
Yeah, it's been fun to see guys step up and fill new roles and bigger roles as the season moves on. Bonita, let's talk about them. They have a really good quarterback, Daniel Andrade. Threw 4 TDs last week in their first-round game. How good is this guy?
He's good. I mean, he's good. He has a good arm. He has great feet in the pocket. He's able to throw under pressure. He's able to throw all types of balls across the field. So there's no throw he can't make. We're just going to have to bring pressure and just make sure that we cover for long periods of time and, make sure that we get a hand on him. But again, our conference, our division that we're in is tough, but also too our league and our non-league schedules that we play as well is tough. So we've played some pretty good quarterbacks in the past this season. So, I mean, he's just another guy that does good things, but we're ready for the challenge.
Yeah, Bonita seems to really spread the ball around. A lot of different guys with all-purpose yards. The defense has got to be focused. So what is going to be that main focus for us as we prepare throughout this week?
Well, main thing is just being able to recognize formations and also personnel grouping. So they do a lot of that. They do a lot of quick game to get the ball into their playmakers' hands. So, again, we have to have some type of pressure on the quarterback to make sure that he's not sitting back there and picking apart. But, again, it's just focusing on their formations, what they do, and our scheme that we do each week and focus, and we should be ready.
Coach, we continue to score points, defend well despite the injuries piling up. It's always good to win a ball game in the playoffs. How's the team atmosphere? How's morale out there?
The morale's great. I mean, kids are positive. We're upbeat. We're fired up to be in the next round for Division IV playoffs. I mean, last year 2 years ago, we're Division VII. So now we stepped up to the plate to the higher division and it definitely had success. And again, it's just making sure that, we're playing with that juice each week, being useful at all times and stepping up in those roles, and everyone's understanding their roles and their responsibilities. And we're playing outside of our talent right now. So our kids are playing upbeat. We're fired up for this week. We play on Saturday at 5, and, we're excited to see what happens.
Very nice, Coach. Well, thanks again for being here. Yeah, game is Saturday at 5. I think we're going to be streaming it as well with Coach Dole and Patios on the mic. So it's going to be exciting. We're really looking forward to seeing you guys out there and getting after it. So thanks again for being here this week.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
As we continue to look at the bracket, we welcome Orange County legend, Hall of Famer, and sports reporter Steve Fryer to the program. Appreciate you being here, Steve.
Good to be with you guys.
Hey, first off, thanks for all you do for high school sports. I've known you for quite a while. Others who maybe live in a bubble don't know who you are, but I can't imagine that. You've been covering sports with the Register since 1979. I'm pretty sure you've seen it all. What has been the biggest change that you have seen in high school sports over the years?
It's so many things, but something that's just, since it's football season, something that's come up, and I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. The level of quarterback play is amazing right now. A guy who would be, top 5, number 5, 4, 6 in the count in terms of how I rank quarterbacks, say 20 years ago, that guy's like 15 through 20 now. The guys are so good. All this 7-on-7 play that goes on, all the tutorial quarterback coaches that are out there have really changed things around. And that's something that's changed a lot. And you guys know this as sports guys, Jeff, basketball coach. All the individual sort of teaching that's available out there has really raised the bar on the quality of athletes that we have here, the quality of play. Shooting coaches in basketball, et cetera, things like that. But it's gotten such a high level. And also the growth in girls sports. Girls basketball, for example, 20 years ago, there was 5 elite teams and then a big drop for everybody else. But now you got your elite teams, but now there's this really good, thick middle class of very competent, very good basketball programs. But before it was not that good. The quality of girls basketball in Orange County right now is amazing. When I was a high school guy, I was, occasional lower level starter, scrub guy at times too. I couldn't make some of these girls basketball teams now. They're so good.
Yeah, Steve, lots of change over the years. You've been the one constant, though, right? Players change, coaches change. Steve Fryer's been there for years. You mentioned the 7-on-7.
They can't get rid of me. Even though they try. The readership would like that, but I'm kind of like the cockroach. You just can't get rid of me, man.
Well, lots of individual coaching in club sports. Whether kids are playing in club sports instead of high school or in conjunction with high school, where do you see the future of high school sports going?
I think we're going to see maybe more kids maybe opting for club, maybe instead of high schools. I keep hearing that. I think that's a long ways off, but it may happen sometime in the future. Hopefully I'm not around to see it. But I think what we'll continue to see is, kids transferring like crazy, kids going to 3 or 4 schools over 4 years. Everybody's in search of that mighty scholarship. College is real expensive. If you're a parent of somebody who's finished college or on his way to college or in college, it's expensive. So the hunt for that brass ring of a scholarship is at higher stakes than ever. And you got delusional parents, who think that their 5'7" junior is going to play in the NBA someday. Probably not going to happen, but they think so. And so I think the more parents sticking their nose in it and second guessing coaching and things like that are going to go crazier. I think social media promotion by kids themselves or by their parents, that's just going to get crazier. Instagram, Twitter, who knows what's the next social platform that's going to explode that sort of thing. You've got all these scouting groups, 24/7 rivals, all these things. You're going to see more of that. I think we'll also see, this image licensing thing that's going on in colleges. We may see some high school kids, CF really can't control that. I don't think. You may see some high school kids that are going to kind of try and use their image, to promote themselves and maybe make some cash on the side. It doesn't hurt their amateur stand without going too thick on the weeds on that. But, you may see some of the elite high school athletes, kind of cash in on their image a little bit here and there too. It's a brave new world out there, and a crazy new world.
There's no doubt. And so many changes now. I mean, again, you mentioned a lot of those little things. And yeah, I didn't even think about maybe a high school player utilizing his name and being able to get paid for that, like the college guys are now. It's definitely headed in a different direction, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes. CIF kind of changed in the last few years with the way they do their bracketing, right? New system for the brackets. How do you like the system? Is CIF kind of out of it mostly? Cal Prep's in? How do you see it?
I think that's kind of funny. They're kind of out of it. I wrote this the other day that, people complain and to get to the story here, all the brackets were created by, and teams were placed in divisions and seeded with those divisions by a rating system done by calpreps.com. Does a great job of rating things. It's a really good website. I use it all the gosh darn time for schedules, results, and things of that nature. But now the CF section, somebody says, man, you got us in Division 2 playing this team on the road. What the heck? And CF can go, we didn't do that. That's Cal Preps guys did that, kind of washed our hands of it here. As far as like, if it's good, if it's effective, it's the right way to go. I think there's still some, we still have to take a look at it. It's just been one weekend as we're taping this right now. One thing we saw was some incredible first round matchups, and you saw a lot of. It used to be that if you're a league champion, you're going to play another league's number 3 or 4 team. You weren't going to play another league's number 1. But gosh, some of the matchups we saw this week, like a league champion, Yorba Linda, a very good league, the Crestview League, had to go on the road to play at Bishop Amat. I mean, that's just nasty. And certainly Yorba Linda got beat in that game by I think it was 44-21. Tustin, the Empire League champ, had to play La Habra. Tustin was number 2 in the league behind Cypress, but they got a home game against a league champ, La Habra. That never happened before. La Habra beat them. All kinds of strange results like that came out. But the margin of victory in these first round games was closer. We didn't have like 40 to 3 games in the first round, 54 to 7 games. There were some tight games. So as far as like, if you want to get the best teams matched up against each other, looks like that happened. But as far as like the right team's going to be champions, the right team's going to get the semi, stuff like that, we're still a couple weeks away from all that.
Yeah, lots of change in how the brackets are done. Certainly there's been lots of change in your job as well, with social media, such a big presence.
Right.
Better or worse, how's your job different today than it was years ago?
Well, funny thing was that, like, let's say, we were competing head to head with the LA Times, and let's say the LA Times announced that Cypress High School has a new basketball coach. Okay, if they had that in their paper on a Thursday, well, I just have to make sure I get that in the paper. I got beat on that story. I'd have to get in the paper on Friday. But now it's like 2 minutes later, you got to respond. So if like somebody on Twitter has, Cypress has hired Pat Riley as their boys basketball coach, 5 minutes later, if I've got that on Twitter 5-10 minutes later, I'm really late on that story. So it's like instantaneous. You got to jump on stuff right away. If you hear about a coaching change, you put it on Twitter, then you write the story, then you go back to Twitter and link to the story to get it on Twitter. It's just, it's more hectic than it used to be. I kind of like it. I like the flow of it. It's kind of fun. We're always riding the bike and pedaling hard, which is kind of fun. I think it keeps me young a little bit, or it's going to age me really quick. I haven't figured out which one that's going to be, but so far so good. We do more video things than we ever did before, so I have to keep myself looking handsome, right? And so there's all kinds of challenges out there. Posting video on Instagram, shooting video with kids, and sometimes the kids are great on video, and sometimes they're not so good. So I got to edit it a little bit, Sometimes the kid will say something that, I go, hey, don't say that word again. We're going to roll this again. Okay. Sometimes there's that. but it's a new stuff all the time, but it's not stagnant. It's fun. It keeps me going. I love the challenges of trying to figure out the new stuff. I'm 63 years old, and I don't want some 28-year-old kid, showing me up, right? So I gotta keep up with it.
You got to keep working out, looking good, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, as teams move deeper in the playoffs, we all know that injuries play a role. There's a toll on the team. It takes its effect over the course of a season. How important are the trainers, doctors, those behind the scenes, and have you seen any changes in those resources over the years?
I love it when I see a team doctor go out on the field and check on a kid, because not every school will have, the best trained people, have a doctor on the sideline and things like that. Cypress football, and Dylan Eldridge, hurt his knee. He's having a great year. I love that kid. The kid, when I saw him play at Foothill in the season opener, that kid kept getting rocked and kept getting up. And I go, oh my gosh, I love this kid. But I think we're seeing better medicine. In the 1960s, somebody tore an ACL. We didn't know what an ACL was. We just know that his knee was messed up and that was it. Now with the MRI and everything like that, we can repair it properly. Kids can get back quicker. I'm an ACL survivor myself, and I did it in my 40s, so it was, a tough road. But the way kids can get back now with training methods, the improvements in nutrition, we know so much more about hydration nowadays. How to keep yourself hydrated. In my day, you took these pink salt pills or whatever the heck it was, and you're not drinking water while we're working out. What? Yeah. But now you hydrate, like we know better about that. We know better about nutrition, how to eat properly. Coca-Cola is really not a good halftime drink. We know that nowadays. Heck, Wilt Chamberlain used to drink orange juice at halftime. I don't think people would do that anymore. So as far as like keeping the kids in better shape, we know more about weight training than we used to, when to weight train, when not to, things like that. It's a whole different world out there. The kids bounce back better. It's just a better situation for all the young people. They're getting better training. Everything is better for the young people these days to keep them ready to go.
Hey, Steve, you wrote an article in the early 80s. You just posted it last week on Twitter about a Cypress and El Dorado football game in which our coach, Rick Feldman, was a player, and a dad of one of our players, Eric Morrell, was the quarterback. And now at Cypress High, we got Coach Feldman, and Eric Morrell's son, Matthew, is one of our great players. These are the kind of moments you look back on, realize how much you've seen. How cool is it to cover multiple generations?
Just means I'm old, guys. That's all it is. When I hate this when I go up to a kid and I go, "Hey, are you related to so and so?" Yeah, that's my dad. I go, "Oh, man." But that story came up at me because somebody posted on Facebook. Then your football coach, Rick Feldman, sent it to me on a text, and I go, "Oh my goodness." And because I save nothing I've written, nothing, because I hate reading my own stuff. It's like hearing your own voice in a recording or your driver's license photo. You go, is that really me? Yeah. I hate reading my own stuff because I always kind of look at it and I can see something I should have done differently. I could have turned a phrase here. I probably should have put this there. So that came to me and I posted it on Twitter because I thought it was hilarious. And when I read that thing, actually, that wasn't such bad writing. It was actually written pretty well, which means either I was very talented as a young person or I just haven't gotten better. Not sure which one it is. Either one, not good.
All right, well, let's get back to the bracket. Although you didn't pick us to win it, which may be a good thing. We didn't have the Fryer curse going against us.
Could be. Ask Foothill about that.
Right.
That's Foothill. I keep picking Foothill to lose, and they keep winning. And they're like, sending me messages going, "Please pick us to lose. Please, 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 please." Dan O'Shea, the Corona Del Mar football coach, he called me Sunday. He goes, "Are you picking Orange Lutheran to beat us?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Great. Thank you." Hangs up. Great. Thanks, guy.
Well,
Go
good.
ahead, man.
Let us know now. How does the rest of Division 4 bracket play out? No pressure on picking us. We got Bonita. There's a lot of other good teams, obviously, Poly in there and so on. How do you think it's going to play out the rest of the way?
Poly looks like the best team. They've got so much speed, and the best place to have speed on a football team, in my mind, is on defense. And Poly's got that going for them big time. Cypress has been a wonderful story with throwing Morrell at quarterback, who very good center fielder, so his arm mechanic's probably pretty good, and he's a great athlete. Sometimes you want to put your best athlete on the pitcher's mound or at quarterback. So I think Cypress will be okay. They got Bonita this week. It's a Saturday home game. I really like the way Cypress is playing. I think their line play is really good. That bodes well, really, for the Centurions. But gosh, it's such a tough bracket, and it's really tough to figure out. But I see Cypress winning this game. It's going to be a tough game. Bonita comes from a really good league. They battle pretty good in that league, so we'll have to see how that goes.
You posted all your picks last week, Steve, before week one. Are all your brackets busted? Any major surprises in all the divisions?
My Division I bracket is perfect because they haven't played yet. But some of the no, I did okay. It's high school kids. You never know. You guys know this. As coach boys, you never know what you're gonna get. Sometimes I'll ask a coach, how was practice this week? Well, we had a lousy week of practice, and then they play great, or they'll have a great week of practice. They'll play terrible. So you never know what you're going to get with high school kids. But my brackets look okay.
Nice. All right. Well, we're going to end this with some rapid fire questions for you. Nothing to think about, just quick answers. Whatever comes to the top of your head, which who knows what that'll be. But let's get going with them. So, best venue to watch a high school game?
Santa Ana Stadium is still my favorite place to go. My first ever athletic event I ever attended in my life, from my memory, is probably about 1964 or 5. Was a Servite Modern Day football game. It was a big deal when my mom came home with tickets, and it was, and I still remember. I still have a little bit of a visual picture of that, but it's still a great place to me. It's a place dear to my heart. Right now, the way they redid Saddleback College. Oh my goodness, that is a great looking place. So Saddleback College is right there. I love Orange Coast College, because you're close to the field. But the old Santa Ana Bowl, man, it's still a special place for me.
Best athlete you've ever seen and covered?
Rob Johnson, El Toro High School, quarterback. Also, he was all county at basketball. Really good shooter, power forward kind of guy, and an excellent pitcher on their baseball team. Right there in my mind, right after him would be John Foster, who was a fantastic running back, a good basketball player because he set the nastiest picks you ever seen in your life. Guys were losing their teeth when they'd run into that dude, and he was also a very good track and field sprinter. Pretty good defensive player on the football team too. I swear I got this mental picture of Deshaun Foster intercepting the ball at the 15-yard line and taking 2 steps, and he's in the end zone. I know it couldn't have happened, but I still got that in my head.
Well, I know you've done concerts before, so you can only choose one to cover: a concert or a sporting event. What do you got? If I'm in a good place to watch Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band go, I'll go there. I just saw the Rolling Stones a few weeks ago, and I was astonished at how good they were at their age. I keep waiting for them to falter. It hasn't happened. But I've covered the Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Finals, NBA Finals, Rose Bowl. A Game 7 of a Stanley Cup Final is pretty good, especially the third period, because there's no penalties going to be called. It's going to be ugly out there and crazy. But Game 7 of a Stanley Cup Final is good. But Springsteen, the E Street Band, boy, they take you on a roller coaster ride. It's pretty good. What about James Taylor or Jackson Brown? Who do you got?
Jackson Brown, local guy, Senate Hills High School. I love the album Late for the Sky. It's a great record.
How do you not love Jackson? CIF championship for football or CIF basketball championship? Which one?
Basketball is the sport I play. It's the sport I know best, and I love it. I kind of fake my way through football. The things I look for in football is how physical a team is in the fourth quarter. But basketball, I think I know that best. I understand it better. I understand spacing. I understand the fundamentals. Catching the basketball, throwing the basketball, setting a pick the right way, pivoting the right way. Playing without the ball in your hands. I know basketball a lot better, so I'm a basketball guy through and through.
Well, as a former basketball guy, would you rather take a charge or get an assist to win the game?
Get an assist to take to win the game. I'm 6 foot and I'm still pretty thin. Taking a charge is not something I'm interested in doing, sir. I'm sorry, Jeff. I know as a basketball coach, you don't want to hear that. You want your guy to stay in there and get his teeth knocked out by a 6'8", 215-pound forward that's coming down the lane. I'm stepping aside. He can have those 2 points, baby. I'll go on the other end and shoot and get those 2 points back. In fact, now I'll get 3 points. In my day, they didn't have that. I'll get you
That's
3.
right. That's
That'll be a
right.
good trade-off.
Well,
I'll
hey,
take that trade-off.
absolutely 3 for 2. Hey, you're on the road all the time. Give us the advice. What's your favorite local spot to eat at in Orange County?
Lola Gas Bar in Santa Ana, Taco Tuesday. Great spot. I love that place, and they treat me like a king there. Citrus City Grill downtown Orange is good. Gabby's downtown Orange is good. I like that. Fullerton with that Summit place is pretty good. The Cellar's good. I got a zillion of them, man. Santa Ana, my hometown, we got some spots. I tell you, it's good. Taco trucks around the corner from me is good. Yeah, we got it.
Well, perfect. There you have it, Steve. Thanks again for being here, hanging out with us. We
Cool.
really appreciate your time.
All right, guys. God bless you. Take care. Good luck to the
Thank you.
Cypress guys in all sports. I look forward to seeing what kind of baseball team Weber's got out there. He's always got something good.
Absolutely.
And his boy's the kicker now too, right?
His boy's a kicker on the team. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that stuff. I saw that Weber. It's kind of a common name. And I didn't put it together that Big John's got a kicker out there. And then I realized when I saw Weber on the sideline chewing his nails, I go, yeah, his son's the kicker.
That's it. Well, hey, thanks again. Thanks also to Coach Crooks for being on today. Appreciate all you guys watching. And we
See
look
you,
forward
Terry.
to seeing you all on Saturday. Thank you.
All right, guys. God bless you. Take care.
Thanks, Steve.
Yes, sir.